Just waiting for the silence, everybody to come on. Good evening, my friends. Welcome to the People's Candidate. It's the name of the show. Your nightly show by the People's Candidate is dedicated to running for president through media and taking the world directly to the American people, what we're dealing with in this world, the truth. Today's date is June 15th, 2019. Only 3 more days until the big announcement at the Trump rally, or as big as we can make it. We're going to try and make it as big as we can. So I hope you are doing great this evening, and I would like to welcome you to our new show. We are running now on our first real week of running this 9 p.m. nightly show, and it only gets better as we go, and that for sure gets more organized and on point and on message and focused on your needs. And that is just the way it feels too. That's just the way it feels most natural for me as your people's candidate. And indeed, that is the name of our show. It's called The People's Candidate. And I welcome you to it. So this is it. This will be our show moving forward. It's going to be organized and we'll have topics. And you are just simply watching it now, aren't you? I'll tell you what. Now let's roll that intro and get things off to a start. That is great. And it's fun. You'll see these intros. We'll have them each show. And it's just our intention to do things the right way. Tonight and every night, I will come on and report to you my thinking, our campaign strategy, what we did that day, and what we are working on now. If you are donating to our campaign, that clarity and understanding and professional approach is what you can expect from your people's candidate. I can't promise that I'm perfect, but nobody is. But what I can promise is so much more special and genuine and real. I wish with all my heart things themselves were perfect. And while I or you, nor anyone or those other condescending candidates will never be perfect, but in truth, none of us are. However, the special thing we have is that in our state of imperfect existence, our understanding of where we need improvement and to get real about that necessity, our faith in the human character, in the human spirit that will always endure, that will always improve, and a plan that helps us do exactly and just that. And that, my friends, is so much more than what those condescending fake candidates will tell you with their platitudes of perfection. They just don't have it, folks. They really don't. They don't have a genuine bone in their body. They just don't. And because they sold you on the lie in the first place, you see, that's how you know their intention. They lost their credibility too. And folks, that's our version of attack ads you'll ever see. It's just the truth. We can't have a campaign rooted in lies and hate and expect to have anything nice come from that. We are the everyman's candidate. And that is why I have Joe Somebody in my vocabulary. And indeed, that I am myself. Joe Somebody. And so is Joe Somebody else out there. You are Joe Somebody. And we all are, from time to time, that person. To relate to somebody else, we know. We're more normal than we think. There is no real such thing as normal, and that's what makes us all normal. We are all Joe Somebodies, and we need to start being treated like we are the somebodies that we are as the Joe Buddies we are. We are so much more than how we are treated by the government and by our government. And that is why we are in this race. So again, tonight and on every show, there will be this kinds of truth. And it'll be live. And just like now, it's live. Time now is 9:15 p.m. It's organized and it's structured and proportioned and with some prepared statements. Then there will also be my non-prepared statements, which are all during the live portion, where you can also call in, by the way, as well as the live interviews that result from that, which are not prepared either, are they? So you have to remember that too. So that's just the way they are by their nature. Just as the whole story has been an evolving story, so will this show evolve. Be nimble. We have to be. I will be nimble to meet the needs and demands of the people, and the people's candidate must be nimble. Your candidate must be nimble. Your happy healer. Me. And with that, folks, I'm going to go ahead and put in our next video, which is entitled "We Are Going Places." Because we are going places, and with you, with your help, and together, we will make the difference. We will. I assure you of that. So let's do it. And let's make it together. Okay, my dears. You're all so precious. I love you. God loves you. Take care. And maybe we'll do something special for the world. What'd you say, honey? Oh, God bless you. Take care now. Okay, guys. So it's like this. The happy healer doesn't have health insurance either. He doesn't have health insurance. He wishes he did. There's a lot of things the happy healer doesn't have. He's smart, sure, he's got that. Talent, the ability to be president. He certainly isn't no less capable than the other gay man running for president, who's even 5 years younger, that's for sure. And let's put it like this. He's more qualified, or just as qualified as any other human being, isn't he? The idea about being president is not about being better than anyone. It's about love. That's the thing that everyone's forgetting. I'm the only love candidate out there. I'm the only love yourself and love everyone else too candidate in the race. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. With all the answers and they're true. The happy healer loves you. It's just so true. The happy healer loves you. Don't you know it's so true? And what we're doing here is for you. Don't you ever forget it. I'm President Happy Healer, and we are here to make a difference, and we want to make a difference in the lives. The world is a very fast-moving place, isn't it? So many things changing all of the time. President Happy Healer says you just have to be ready for all of these changes and to take them on with courage and love to you, because that other world is not far. It's right here, and it's the one that we seem to forget is so true, but yet it has more power over you, because it's the world that God lives in, and you seem to forget it exists at all. So sad. But that's okay, because the Happy Healer's gonna show you. The magic in this world is so true that I love you. I love you. It's just so true that I love you. It's just so true that I love you. We can't get anywhere new. We can't evolve into do anything that's so true. As in is to say that I love you. I just love you. I love you, love you, love you. Love is such a powerful thing. We have to be able to get back to saying it. I love, 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 love. I love, 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 love. I love, 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 love you. I love you. I love you, America. I want the best for you. I love you, America. It's sad to see what you're going through, and to be able to cry and just know it's so true. The love I have for you, it makes us stronger too. We have to know this truth. We have to show the folks just what's so true. We have to inspire too, and we will inspire too. And I'm an American, because that's our job. I'm an American, and I love so, and I love as such so, and that's what Americans do. An American too. I love you. President Happy Healer, I'm here to tell you we're just so full of love, and I love you. So don't you ever forget just how so true that truth is. That truth is just so true. The truth, I'm talking to you. Let me finish what I'm trying to say here, though. Happy Healer is a normal guy. Okay, my dears, you're all so precious. I love you, God loves you, take care, and maybe we'll do something special for the world. What'd you say, honey? Oh, God bless you. Take care now. Okay, guys, so it's like this. The Happy Healer doesn't have health insurance either. He doesn't have health insurance. He wishes he did. There's a lot of things the Happy Healer doesn't have. He's smart, sure, he's got that, talent, the ability to be president, he certainly isn't no less capable than the other gay man running for president who's even 5 years younger, that's for sure. And let's put it like this, he's more qualified or just as qualified as any other human being, isn't he? The idea about being president is not about being better than anyone. It's about love. That's the thing that everyone's forgetting. I'm the only love candidate out there. I'm the only love yourself and love everyone else too candidate in the race. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. With all the answers and they're true. The happy healer loves you. It's just so true. The happy healer loves you. Don't you know it's so true? And what we're doing here is for you. Don't you ever forget it. I'm President Happy Healer, and we are here to make a difference, and we want to make a difference in the lives. The world is a very fast-moving place, isn't it? So many things changing all of the time. President Happy Healer says you just have to be ready for all of these changes and to take them on with courage and love to you, because that other world is not far. It's right here, and it's the one that we seem to forget is so true, but yet it has more power over you, because it's the world that God lives in, and you seem to forget it exists at all. So sad. But that's okay, because the Happy Healer's gonna show you the magic in this world is so true that I love you. I love you. It's just so true that I love you. It is true though. It's just so true that I love you. We can't get anywhere new. Just getting here. We can't evolve into do anything that's so true. As in is to say that I love you. I just love you.
You think I look better with my haircut?
Love you. Love is such a powerful thing. We have to be able to get back to saying it. I love. I love.
This is the second time I'm letting this roll just for this part.
I love you. I love you, America. I want the best for you. I love you, America. It's sad to see what you're going through, and to be able to cry and just know it's so true. The love I have for you, it makes us stronger too. We have to know this truth. We have to show the folks just what's so true. We have to inspire to, and we will inspire to. And I'm an American, because that's our job. I'm an American, and I love so, and I love as such so, and that's what Americans do. An American too. I love you. President Happy Healer, I'm here to tell you we're just so full of love, and I love you. So don't you ever forget just how so true that truth is.
That hair was something though, wasn't it?
That truth is just so true. The truth, I'm talking to you. Let me finish what I'm trying to say here, though.
I like the way this ends. You
Happy
gotta
Healer
get this.
is a normal guy.
Alright, that was funny.
Okay, welcome to the show. Welcome back to the show. Either way, you're here and I got you, and that is a great thing. because we're doing great things. Okay, my dears, you're all so precious. I love you. God loves you. Take care.
And
maybe we'll
so
do
that's the
something
show,
special
and this is
tomorrow.
our campaign.
What'd you say? Oh, God bless you.
And how true it is. Let's talk about Facebook for a moment. You know, they just, the people who desire to have a voice, and they're quieted or denied that voice that they should have to participate in discussions and group discussions that they would otherwise ordinarily be able to participate in. They can hear, and they can see, but they can't participate. Well, that I intend to bring that out in detail is also true. And in fact, take a look on the screen in just a moment. When I get a moment, I'm going to send that in, and you'll see the various messages from today that was blocked by Facebook. These actions Facebook takes against us, the people. It's very concerning. And I reported this on my personal page, and well, the people on my personal page, they're aware of this kind of thing as it happens quite often, and folks are responding with sad faces because they too know what it means when their voice is quieted. And that just allows us to hear and to see images that they choose for us to hear and to see. It's just not right. Because at the same time and at the same token, they deny us a voice in those same ways. And that's what I don't get. That's what I don't like. And it's wrong. We just have to call things out wrong when they are wrong. This is wrong. I am making the way things that are actual real people, and part of my campaign, I'm making room for you guys and your voice. The effects of Facebook's actions when they block free speech and the toll that has on all of us, and of course the unplanned effects that are very immense. It's just so real, isn't it? That is to say that those consequences are very horrendous on the people. And that they, whether they intend to or not, they're shaping the human soul. And that is unconscionable. Not just they ought not do that, but how dare they do that to the American people and to any person. The people need a people's champion, and I suppose it will be on your people's candidate to be that champion. It'll just have to be on your people's candidate in that regard. It's absurd what they do to our voice. They train us to think and how to think. Every time I spend time in thought, then hit enter and get that message, a lesson is learned. It's dangerous. What they're doing, it is dangerous, and they know it, and they do it anyway, out of the name of profit. And that's what we have to change about our country. We have to put people first, and they need a champion, one that gets them, one that knows it and sees it and says it. Feel free to share in the discussion. This is on the show this evening. Your happy healer for president. I am Keith Landy. This is your voice too. So be on the show, call in, the number's on the screen if you'd like to call in. It's absurd what they are doing to our voice. And I'll open that call-in line and I'll let you know in a moment once we do. They train us how to think. Every time I spend time in thought, I realize that. And I know you know it's true. Because we all have these points where we just think the dangerous things that we see happening, that we know are happening. And we're going to continue to speak out on it. We're not just going to let it go. So we have Facebook on our radar. Rest assured, they're going to be on our radar just because they ought to be. They ought to be for the things that they're doing. And anyone who's working against the people like that will be featured on the show, especially when we see it working to the normal people. So guys, if you want to call in, this is a good time because now it's the portion of the show where I just have my free speech, more or less. And I'm just talking about what matters, why I'm running, and what comes to mind. I like to do that because I like to be, that's my deep thought. And when I'm doing that, that's when I'm most relaxed. That's when I know that I'm on truth too, because it's coming to me directly from what I believe is all of us would get inspiration if we just listen. If we just listen. We get inspiration. We really do. We just have to listen. And we have to be listening. If we're not listening, we don't get anything. No. How's it going, Cameron? Welcome to the show. What's going on, Kevin? And what are you guys watching? You're watching the Happy Healers run for the presidency of the United States, man. This is serious news. Serious news for serious people, for serious times. You better believe it. And whenever you see the Happy Healer, you know he's serious because you see that flag right back there? It follows him everywhere he goes. And no, he didn't say fag. And how dare you use that language? When I read your thoughts and you start just talking like that, then that's not going to work. That is so funny. All right, so call in 407-984-5075, and I can answer your questions live on the show or address your concerns. I don't claim to know everything, no. But we need a discussion about so much more than what any one person is expected to know, don't we? Don't we, though? Isn't that the truth that they're not willing to say? And it's important our next president, your people's candidate, that is to say, and any candidate for any office in our great country serving the people should know that, really. They ought to know that. To know the truth is to say the truth. And to have a conversation about fixing our problems is otherwise a humble, noble deed that is born of genuine concern. Any other approach lacks appropriate action from someone like me. And that's the message. A message that needs to be exceptional and unique to our moment and the problems we face that are all just so real. So the solutions also then must be real. And that is why you're real people's candidate, who can really be nothing but real, given his own suffering, his own experiences. He knows your truths, as he knows his own. We can do this, folks. And we can do it together. And the only part of us that has to do with anyone else is our consciousness. I mean, in the truest sense of it, my body can be in the same building with another person, yet not engaged in conversation, and hear We can be thousands of miles apart and yet have our consciousness transcend time and space to meet here. When you meet me here, live, in the moment, or later on, or at any time, it's all just as true. So I look forward to these engagements, these shows, to talk to the people, for I am the people's candidate, for the truth and love we can get out and share. Well, it's just so great. And that is why we put media to work in this campaign for the presidency of the United States and the Democratic nomination for president. Well, folks, I don't hear the phone ringing, and I feel like we've had a great show so far. You guys are welcome to call in. There's a few other things I want to go over, and the show really is, we still got a bit left to it here. So let's just move right on along here, shall we? One of the things that I have been myself noticing, and we are in non-planned territory. We are in non-planned territory. You can call in, that's fine. In the meantime, I'm going to fill the air. If it feels planned, it's just because I do a good job, okay? So we are in unplanned territory. Call in if you like. I have the phones on. Well, maybe I don't. Maybe that's the problem. Okay, I think we're okay. Like I said, the number you can call if you like, and just know you will be on the air, and that is fair game. We need real voices on the air talking about real issues. You know, we're going to have our media hour. We're starting it right now. We're going to talk about what all the other fools are talking about, but we're always going to start about with what's important to the American people, and that is what our campaign is running on. But we'll talk about that other stuff too. And guess what? I'm eager to talk about that other stuff because they're getting it all wrong. And virtually our plan solves it all each and every time. Each and every time. Every time you're working for humanity, and we do have some other candidates that want to bring up that word humanity a lot. And it's funny, I guess it's just in the human consciousness right now. It's just because we're having this awakeness. Everybody feels so close to their aliveness, don't they? Doesn't everybody really just feel so important in your own world? And so that's what we are, is we're important in our own worlds. And we have to remain important in our own worlds. And so we will always be that way. Always. And let's get moving. I can go forever when it comes to love for people that have for so long been forsaken. Oh boy, I can go on, and I just can't wait to get some of you guys, like, you know, brave enough to call in, and that we can really get some good dialogue going. And what that can do for the show that is of the people, by the people, and for the people. Just think, we're sharing things that matter to the people. And that's what we need to be doing. We need to be sharing things that matter to the people. And I just want to say, hey, Danny, I did see you saying, always good to see you too. So that's great. Yes, so that's what it's about. This is a campaign by, for, and of the people. And that's a serious task, because I don't say that lightly. I say it often, I don't say it lightly, and I mean something very clearly when I say that. It's not what the other people are saying. When I say I am the humanities candidate, it's not, I didn't even know they were saying that. And then I looked and they're saying it. Are you kidding me? I feel like they ripped it from me, but surely they were probably even on record before me. I just don't even pay attention to these clowns. They don't have anything to say. Excuse me for not paying attention to that which doesn't matter. If only more of us can be like that. So, every now and again, we just feel that strike of lightning, right? And that's your people's candidate. And I don't claim to be your normal person. I don't have to be normal. Nobody has to be normal. What is normal? What is normal? I don't even know what normal is. I try to figure out what normal is and I get in trouble. So I just be me. And I say we all should be that way. And that beautiful things happen when we do. And oh boy, isn't that the kind of world we all clamor to live in? If we just have the courage. If we just have the courage, we can do so much, and that can be one of the things we do. And indeed, that's part of your Happy Healers plan. Hey, Josh, I love you too, man. Just speaking the truth, coming at you every night at 9 p.m. and doing it real, because somebody's got to be the people's champion and see right through all of their crap that they just make so filthy, and that has to encompass all of our lives, and it has to encompass all of our lives all of the time. It's just too much.
Robert Mueller himself, admitting that her claim that the rank and file at the FBI had lost confidence in James Comey.
This is what they're talking about.
Quote, a slip of the tongue and not founded on anything. You know what that means, right? In other words, a lie. So in this anything goes White House, lying is fine. And
let me get you a window.
Breaking the law, also fine. The White House defying the recommendation today that Kellyanne Conway be fired for violating the Hatch Act. That is the act that bars federal employees from engaging in partisan politics while serving in their official roles. Now, she's certainly not the first to run afoul of the act, but she may be the most blatant. The official in charge of the federal watchdog agency, his name is Henry Kerner.
Stand by. Just listen to this because I'm going to comment on this. I listened to it earlier. I intend for you to hear this.
Be fired is unprecedented. And then he goes on to say this. You know what else is unprecedented? Kellyanne Conway's behavior. In interview after interview, she uses her official capacity to disparage announced candidates, which is not allowed. He also called Conway a repeat offender for slamming the Democrats running to oppose President Trump in 2020.
I'm yet to see presidential timber. I just see a bunch of presidential wood chips. Amy Klobuchar, but you can change the A to an O and get oh my. Elizabeth Warren spent decades, folks, decades, appropriating somebody else's heritage and ethnicity.
Yep. And
she's been lying about it. Kirsten Gillibrand this weekend in her 50s apparently was the first time she's ever eaten fried chicken, and she waited for the cameras to roll. I mean, this is just silly stuff.
Because he has no vision, and he doesn't be held to account for the bottom of Biden
My
legacy.
question.
There's
This isn't the first time.
There's a few things I want to comment
She
on.
also slammed then candidate, now Alabama Senator Doug Jones on two different occasions back in 2017, prompting this exchange with our own Chris Cuomo.
Well, you got to be careful about the Hatch Act.
They're going to have to find something relevant and important to do today, make themselves feel better.
You have to be
But Chris,
careful about observing the rules of ethics there.
That was good advice from Chris. Really good advice. Too bad Kellyanne didn't listen. And you think she'll see the error of her ways? Just listen to this. This is just 2 weeks ago.
If you're trying to silence me through the Hatch Act, it's not going to work. Let me know when the jail sentence starts.
Like I said, defiance. Anything goes. Anything goes. Sarah Sanders lies. Kellyanne Conway blatantly ignoring the law. And the President of the United States flat out telling foreign powers he'd be open to accepting illegal dirt on his political rivals. He's hanging out an open for business sign for Russia. And let's not forget, as according to him, he's meeting with Vladimir Putin in 2 weeks. And the president's strategy is to do all of this out loud, in plain sight. He's done it again and again.
Russia, if you're listening, I hope you're able to find the 30,000 emails that are missing.
I was going to fire Comey, knowing there was no good time to do it. And in fact, when I decided to just do it, I said to myself, I said, you know, this Russia thing with Trump and Russia.
Yeah, I got your visual here. Stand by.
This time around, if foreigners, if Russia, if China, if someone else offers you information on an opponent, should they accept
Wouldn't it be
or
nice
should
if
they
I
call
had
the
a
FBI?
back office person as good as I am at this?
I think you might want to listen. I don't, there's nothing wrong with listening. If somebody called from a country, Norway, we have information on your opponent. Oh, I think I'd want to hear.
It happens so often. You may say to yourself, that's just Trump being Trump. You could, but you'd be making a dangerous mistake.
That's the president. And if you can pick it apart and say that everyone else is going to, you can draw all kinds of extreme problems with it. But again, that's the president, and he does react, and he isn't like everybody else.
To tell yourself that, you know what? You've got to ignore what you've seen with your own eyes and what you've heard with your own ears. And that's exactly
All right,
what
enough
the
of this
president
poison.
wants you to do.
I just
Ignore
had to
that.
get some technical stuff done there. I do apologize for letting that run for so long. Well, let's hear this part.
What you're seeing and what you're reading is not what's happening.
What you're seeing and what you're reading is not
You
happening.
should have press briefings to tell
That's funny.
Americans the truth. And that's why it is so important for Robert Mueller to testify.
Well, hold on. Let me
To
talk
speak
about
the
this for a
truth.
moment. Okay, hold
Right
on.
out loud.
First off, let me just mention real quickly, I think this whole thing is just tearing the country apart, and we really just need... How can we possibly afford to talk about making these monumental changes and still rip the country apart? I am your unity candidate, so in these moments I have to remind you just of that fact, and that we're bringing people together. We're not trying to look and get involved in every kind of divisive possible situation we can. And quite frankly, we're going to have to own up to who we are as a people. Nobody's perfect. Trump's not perfect, for sure. He is absolutely guilty of so much, and so are you, and so am I, and so is Hillary Clinton, and so are a lot of people. And at some point, we can either just take this all the way to a civil war, and quite frankly, I'll tell you what, it just might be headed there. But Jurassic times call for Jurassic measures. And right now, the American people are so fired up. Let's channel that energy into something that actually works for the American people. Let's take that energy and build a world worth living in. Enough of this stuff. Sorry, I get so excited about this. It's just so obvious what we should be doing. And I realize this every time I see the struggles and the pain. And I'm going to be opening up on this show like never before. This 9 p.m. show about truth and about things that matter. And tomorrow we're going to have a great show. And, coming on Tuesday, we will be announcing, it will be an important announcement. So Monday likely we'll take the night off. Maybe we'll come on anyway, because I'm just so prepared to say what matters to the American people that matter the most. So you better believe that despite Facebook trying to keep me quiet, I just made it my choice. And I said to myself, I'll look bright at the stars and I'll be optimistic. And I'll say, why can't we just all be that way? And I will try to inspire. Sometimes I will fail, but we will always try. And that's exactly what we'll be doing when we announce on the 18th. You better believe it's so true, because that is the truth. And we can get excited about the truth. And like a child, I do. Because, no, there's things I do wrong. I live large. I live deep. I live deep, very deep. And I think we all should. I think that's where the new age is. I think there's no other way to be fully alive unless we're living deep, unless we really care. We can't just not care. How many of you decided to not care? How many? When did you make that decision for yourself? Okay, your spirit is screaming to be alive, and well, your happy healer for president plans to liven you up. And then after we liven you up, we've got work to do, because we've got to liven up a lot of people. We've got to really lift spirits and minds and just do it in such an honest and pure way. And that is my intention. So I don't come to you as the perfect candidate. Instead, I come to you with ideas that help make us all better, though. So that's what we're doing. We're so serious about that. So when you think of, well, how can you do this when you've got to prepare for it and all this stuff? You don't have to prepare, except for if the preparation has been put on your heart by a higher power, right? You don't have to prepare if you've been through the pain that is etched in scars, that which you need to know to do the people's job. And they say that you or me or one of us that should so approach this situation so nobly and with a noble cause should be shut out of the system because they didn't go to Harvard. Well, a society that emerges from that will surely fall short. It leaves the best people out. The people who didn't want to just play by the rules because there was too much having to give in. And so that they didn't, and then that they didn't get in. There's those people too, and we can't forget them. So, that's the truth. And as these guys just go on, I am so reminded of that truth. And I can't wait now to show with you. I'm done with CNN and Don Lemon for just a moment. Well, CNN's coming back on because not I love CNN, but more of that. Hopefully CNN will cover my candidacy if they really want to do some good. Doubtful. We'll see. Point is, I would like to put on for you next somebody who is actually doing well in the polls. And so we're just pulling them up right now, aren't we? And let's see. Okay, let's listen to Bernie Sanders.
Thank you for being with us. I want to talk to you about your speech and this idea of a 21st century economic bill of rights, which is what you were really focusing on today. Very quickly, though, just your reaction to what the president told George Stephanopoulos, that he would, in fact, take a look at opposition research or anything offered from a foreign government, even an adversary, and then maybe call the FBI.
Well, Anderson, to tell you the truth, I'm not exactly shocked. I think we have a president who neither understands the Constitution of the United States or respects the Constitution.
Watch this clip. It's worth watching.
And somebody who thinks he's above the law.
And I have to comment on this, and I will.
Should begin impeachment inquiries on Trump. So no, I'm not shocked.
What changed your mind on beginning impeachment inquiries? Because it is something of evolution for you.
No, not really. I mean, I'm not here to tell you that we should impeach Trump. In fact, I don't even know that there are the votes in the House to impeach him, and I doubt very much there are the votes in the Senate to convict him. You need 2/3 of the Senate, 67 votes. But I certainly think that the American people need to understand what this president has done, his contempt for the law. And I think that is the process we undertake when we begin an impeachment inquiry.
In the speech today, you talk about a 21st century economic bill of rights, and you harken back to FDR and are kind of pitching this as a continuation of FDR's legacy, even Martin Luther King Jr. Can you explain how this is pertinent to a vision of democratic socialism?
Absolutely. Back in 1944, in a little remembered State of the Union speech. It was at the end of World War II, and Roosevelt said, look, we have a Bill of Rights in this country and we have a Constitution, I'm paraphrasing him, which says that we have all kinds of great rights. We have freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, freedom of religion, all of that is great. But what we do not have is an economic Bill of Rights. We don't guarantee a decent standard of living to all of our people. That's what he said, and he died a year later. And in fact, that mantle has never really been picked up. So what I am saying today is that, are we truly free? This is in a sense what Roosevelt was saying. If you're going out and you're working 70 or 80 hours a week because the wages you're working under are starvation wages, are you free if you can't afford to go to the doctor in the wealthiest country in the history of the world, and you get sicker or maybe you die because you can't afford health insurance? Are you free if...
That's very true. We'll be talking about it further. That's a big deal to your happy healer. That is a big deal to our candidacy. We're going to take it so much further than he ever could hope to take it. Because he's got the wrong system and he's working in the wrong system.
If you are a young, bright person but you can't afford to go to college, or you leave school $50,000 or $100,000 in debt, are you free if you're sleeping out on the street tonight? Anderson, 500,000 Americans, including many veterans, are sleeping out on the street tonight. So what I am saying, picking up from Roosevelt, that in the wealthiest country in the history of the world, now is the time to finally say that economic rights are human rights, that everybody in this country deserves a job at decent pay, that health care is a human right, that a full education is a human right, a clean environment is a human right, affordable housing is a human right, retirement security. We got millions of old people, senior citizens of this country, who
this is great.
Cannot afford the prescription drugs.
Okay, all right. Now I want you to listen to this part again. I'm going to back it up. He's talking about the people who can't afford their prescription drugs. I'm going to go further. I want to know the other candidates, and I'm going to talk about my plan. I have a plan. What is the plan for the other candidates to pay for Social Security? They don't even have a plan, do they? That's the problem. They don't have a plan. Well, we're going to hear a little bit of somebody else, a little comedy on this too, because we always need comedy relief after this. But yeah, so we'll just have to hear some more of what he's got to say in regards to this. I want to back that up a little bit. I want it to be in one chunk. I don't want to take his word out of context.
Finally say that economic rights are human rights, that everybody in this country deserves a job at decent pay, that health care is a human right, that a full education is a human right, a clean environment is a human right, affordable housing is a human right, retirement security. We got millions of old people, senior citizens of this country, who literally cannot afford the prescription drugs they desperately
So
need.
true.
I mean, you
so
are
sad.
You're leaning into democratic socialism. Now,
we're talking about that.
You're a democratic socialist, but I mean, you are clearly trying to sort of explain what your view of what that means to an American population and many people who hear the socialism part, maybe not the democratic part, and President Trump ultimately will be yelling Venezuela at you as much as possible.
No. The problem is you got to bring the religious people with you. They want to forsake the religious people. They want to say to the religious people, your word don't matter and your God is fake. That's the problem. That's the problem. Stop lying. God's not fake for one thing. I want to see you being I need to get my face on this screen. I'm getting blown up over here. Stop lying to the people. Would you please stop lying to the people? They have it hard enough as it is. The truth is so hard to get in your life, and all you have is lying and lying and lying and more lying. My goodness, the world is a confusing place. And truth is fleeting. Truth is always fleeting. You get it, and you hang on to it. You're holding on to it, and it's gone. It's gone before you know it. It's already left. And now you're just back with the confusion. Let's get this shit going again.
Well, that's exactly the point. And the other point that I made today is that, in fact, people like Donald Trump are also socialists, except they are corporate socialists. They are prepared and do provide
True.
hundreds of billions of dollars
But so are
every
you.
single year in subsidies and tax breaks to large corporations and the wealthy. Anderson, you will remember very well the Wall Street bailout. Now, Wall Street is the epitome of unfettered capitalism. That's what they believe. Except when their greed and illegal behavior nearly destroyed the economy, they went begging to the Congress. They were big-time socialists, and they said, we need federal help. Give us $700 billion from the Treasury and trillions of dollars in low-interest loans from the Federal Reserve. You got the fossil fuel industry today, which is literally destroying the planet, and they get billions of dollars in subsidies and tax breaks. You have Amazon, owned by the wealthiest person in this country, Jeff Bezos, made $11 billion last year. That's what Amazon made in profits. They didn't pay a nickel in federal income taxes. So, in fact, you got Donald Trump himself as part of his...
You know, there's such injustices. Hold on. Wait, my turn. My turn. Thank you. You're doing great. We should run. You could be my vice president. I wouldn't actually, you know, in case something happened to me, right? We've got to get on the right path, man. That's the thing. That's got to be something. You've got to entrust whom you've entrust to take on your vote and to take on your support. Well, they ought to better then make sure they take on your problems. Am I ducking far enough? All right. Healthcare. This simple. In my campaign, we have an approach that says human beings matter. And the left they're saying this. This is what they're saying. We got to get people covered. Their message is inconsistent, and it's okay. I'm running as a Democrat. We will get that message consistent then. And well, then that's why you should support this candidacy, because we get a consistent message so we can then turn to our brothers on the other side. And trust me, there are so many of them that are so wanting also better world. They don't want to be lied to. They just, so many things are important to them. And, you know, they'll take somebody like Trump before they take one of these condescending candidates you're juggling between. That's just the truth. And, you know, I get that. I actually do. And I'm not here to demonize Trump. In fact, I want to free America of the burden of Trump's indiscretions. I want to do the same thing for all the other indiscretions so that we can move on with a pure future for the American people. It's those people who matter, not the crap we know that Trump is guilty of. Please. Please.
In subsidies and tax breaks. So you do have socialism in this country. Except, as Martin Luther King reminded us, it's socialism for the very rich and unfettered individualism for the poor.
Talking to Senator Bernie Sanders tonight about embracing the label that President Trump and some Democrats treated as an epithet, socialist, in his case, democratic socialist, which the senator today sought to weave into a progressive tapestry, as it were, tracing back to the New Deal.
All right, we're not going to listen to his ideas. So that was pretty good, Bernie. You've got some nice word salad, as people sometimes often say for politicians, as I've learned. But let me tell you about that word salad then, shall we? Because all that's great, but how are you going to get it done, Bernie? And my question to you goes right back to the same that I have for all the other candidates in this race, is how are you going to pay for it? And all these proposals you have, how are you going to pay for it? And, okay, because you don't have any great big new plan. Your plan is to go in this crap, okay? So how are you going to pay for it? That's what I want to know. Unless you change something, how are you going to pay for all that? And if you're going to get in the business of doing what's right, then you got to get in the business of saying and being consistent on what is right. You can't just pick and choose the things that you want to be right, what's right is what's right by virtue of its own righteousness. You can't choose that. That's the very choice, the very nature of it being right is its own truth, isn't it? Now, you can dictate how you choose to ride your life through this, your ways, your actions through this life. And I'll tell you, as your president, I'll be inspiring you to do the very best. And I'll be doing good. And we'll all be so honest in that truth. If we can have that kind of reality. And we can dream so much. We can do so much. And we can inspire. Tell me, when is the last time a leader has ever inspired anybody? I don't think they care about inspiring. I think they care about lying and about getting their way, about pushing their agenda. As it is, they have you so busy working for the measles. You know, you got to work so hard to have just sustenance. Tell me, what do you do to have sustenance? Just that is to be alive. That is to be alive. What do you do to be alive? You know, that is the truth. People say it all the time. That's what they're saying when they say, what do you do for a living? What do you think they're saying? Because if you're alive, well, then it's not free to be alive. And the thing about it is, our ancestors, their brilliance, our maker, our creator, the brilliance of our creator has made it so that we can have it so much better in humanity, but that our inventions, our ingenuity, the things that make us most special when it comes to our brilliance and our creativity, our scientists, the companies, they steal that and then they monopolize on it. They market it. They monopolize on the market. You can't touch in. The people's candidate can't even get a voice because everything's about money. If you got money, well, then you break through, whether your voice is righteous or not, whether your voice belongs there or not. You know what I'm counting on? I'm counting on quality. That's it. Quality. If this goes forward, it goes forward on its own legs. I don't have money to put into the advertising. In fact, everything that does, that is, that goes forward, that becomes, is on its own legs. When the moment you donate is when this thing grows. Really? So you're the decision, the deciders, the ones who decide where this goes. You're the ones who decide if I look like a fool on camera or if I am at least able to keep afloat and to keep going this mission, that which I have been dedicated to for so long anyway. We're doing the right work. We're doing it for the right reasons. Let's carry on. I want to show you now, very important to what I wanted to talk about is, gotta back it up here. Okay, we've seen that one. There's James Clapper. This one, Bill. Okay, let's put Bill on.
Our feet hurt, and we want the old comfortable pair of shoes. You know. Oh.
What do you see in the field?
Well, first of all, too many people is what I see in the field. That alone looks silly when you have 23, 24 people. And some of them are, I don't even know what their raison d'etre is for running. I've asked them. They've been on the show. I'm like, why you?
Right?
Right off the bat, we're stumped.
Why are they running?
Do you believe that if you have so many, that means you have nobody?
Well, I just think it would...
Yeah, no wonder. Why do you think? That's why I say it's almost like you're summoning me. You're making this possible. Continue. Come on, bring more of these big names in, because then it muddies out the water. It makes it more possible for someone like me. Guys, my religious brothers, the people who believe in God, my spiritual brethren, we can stand up and have a voice right now. There's enough of us alone to get your people's candidate in the forefront. And so just think about that. We are such a loud voice, and people who wouldn't ordinarily participate will participate in this campaign. It just has to get out there. It just needs a chance. You know, if Facebook were only in the business of doing good work instead of it being all about that almighty dollar, well, then we just know what it's all about then, don't we?
Donald Trump should have been someone who made the Democrats go, wow, we got to get serious now. We got to cut out all the nonsense that made us lose the election last time. And I don't think I've seen that so far.
Midterms didn't
well,
mean
the
that for you?
identity politics and the cutting each other up. Obama said about a month ago, he said circular firing squad. He invoked that phrase about the Democrats. You'd think with Donald Trump as president and the existential state we're in this country, that they would not need to have that warning be given. But, you know, I hope Obama does that again. Now, he is the one person who has the, the authority, both as the ex-president and as a rather beloved president of recent vintage, who can do that, who can knock Democrats' heads together and say, look, we've got to get serious. Stop carping at each other. Joe Biden, for example, the whole thing with the kissing the back of the head and the Eskimo kisses. And look,
that is completely weird.
You know, if this is the guy to beat Trump, it is unconscionable to be pecking at him this way in the beginning. He's not like...
was very helpful.
All right, no, I'm going to call BS on this. You go ahead and choose Biden as your candidate. Guaranteed that's coming out, because it's not just a couple of times. That gets a little bit intense. And trust me, that is coming out. If you don't bring it out as a Democrat, I'm just telling you the truth. That's his truth. That's Biden's truth. Biden made his own truth. Now he's got to have that truth. That's how your people's candidates got to run. And I don't mind running with those. Those are the terms we all run on, aren't they? That is Biden's truth. And if you put the man forward, it's going to be an issue.
Helpful in that also. He went after Biden for that, and the media picked it up. They ran with it. It got traction.
And how he gets away with it with his history.
He already did it. You think he's going to stop if he becomes the nominee? No. Don't be so foolish.
Of real sexual assault, when this guy is just being Joe. I mean, okay, you don't like it, it's creepy, I get it. Sometimes people do things to me that are too close and I don't like it, but that's life. You know, instead of writing a blog about it.
18 inches though.
Yeah, exactly.
I got the note, I respect the note.
Instead of writing a blog about it a year and a half later, just turn around and say, excuse me. You know, some things you got to handle yourself.
You were strong on that. You went at it different times about what Biden was relatively in your sense of political correctness on it, where the line should be. You're okay taking the heat on it. Ultimately, for Joe Biden, where do you think it was? Do you think that this spread in the polls right now is real and he'll stay there, or do you think it's just identification?
Well, I think he'll get knocked down, yes, because it's early, always at this time. You know, the person who is known. And also, again, we don't know. I think America right now looks like our feet hurt and we want the old comfortable pair of shoes. You know, he is a return to normalcy. I don't think he's a lot of people's favorite, but he's a lot of people's second or third choice, and he's good enough, and he's going to get us back.
No, that's not how you elect a president. If that is what the Democrats have to go to, is just someone that's good enough to get us by, and that's how we plan on beating Trump, then guess what? We're not beating Trump then. That's the plan. I'm just straightforward. And the other truth, if I'm your candidate, then the other truth is this is going to be a very special campaign. This will be so unique. This would be the one. Really. This would do it. This would be the one. Think about it. Remove even myself from the picture. Just imagine this truth. Imagine if we could actually have a candidacy of the people, by the people, for the people. That's actually somebody that was just of the people. In fact, they never did anything notable in public life prior to just running for president and being a normal person, and yet how special that is, and how so many things you live as a normal person, especially the experiences that I'm sharing, that, well, we have a long time And the message that we're running on is the first thing we have to share. But you better believe there's so much more that is story to talk about behind all that. So, folks, that is the show. I just am so happy to be able to be here with you guys and doing things that we can all be excited about, that we can all be part of, that we can all lend to. And that's what I mean by be a part of. Go to www.happyhealerforpresident.com. That's one way. And donate if you can. It helps. I hear other candidates ask for money, and they're giving it to them, so I need my supporters to help me too. There is no shame in asking for that support so that we can make real our dream. And I assure you that no matter what you put into it, I'm going to put it to work for this dream, and that I am already putting so much work into this dream, and that will never stop. So we just have to be all true to a cause. And and that this cause is a worthy cause. That this cause is a good cause, and a cause worth fighting for, and a cause worth having. So, if we ever expect to have it, well, then you know we're going to have to fight for it. Well, folks, that's the show. I appreciate you guys watching. If you're just getting here, it was a great show. And I really encourage you to go back in time a little bit and watch it and just check it out from its beginning. Because every last minute of this show I feel so great about. I think it was a really good show. And we're just going to be improving on it. Each day I'm going to have things to say from throughout that day. And this is how we're campaigning. And we have so much more we need to do. So donate to the cause. Donate to the campaign. Help when you can and where you can. And, well, I appreciate that help. And we'll see you tomorrow right here at 9 p.m. God bless you, and take care. Hey, so I'm getting ready for the show here. It's your President Happy Healer. We've got a lot going on. What can I say? I got my jacket, my clothes, everything's all good. We just need you. Oh, wait, we just did the show. Perfect. We'll see you here tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Booyah! Hey, so I'm getting ready for the show here. It's your President Happy Healer. We've got a lot going on. What can I say? I got my jacket, my clothes, everything's all good. We just need you. Oh, wait, we just did the show. Perfect. We'll see you here tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Booyah! Hey, so I'm getting ready for the show.